The psychology of looking beyond behavior. Everyone warned you about them. Stay away. They're toxic. They'll only hurt you. And honestly, they weren't wrong. They mocked people's insecurities. They embarrassed people in front of everyone. Somehow, every conversation became a competition. Every joke had a victim. Every word left someone feeling smaller than before. The evidence seemed overwhelming. The answer looked obvious. They're arrogant, cruel, selfish. Case closed. Yet despite all of that, your mind refused to let the story end there. You weren't trying to defend them. You weren't trying to excuse them. But one question kept refusing to disappear. What made them this way? Most people never ask that question. And that's exactly what makes this so fascinating. Psychology suggests something fascinating. People who see what others miss aren't solving the same problem as everyone else. Most people look at behavior and unconsciously ask one question. Who is this person? People who see what others miss ask a completely different one. What could produce behavior like this? Those questions sound almost identical. They're not. One searches for identity, the other searches for causes. And that tiny shift changes everything. Psychologists have spent decades studying how we explain other people's behavior. One of their most well-known findings is something called the fundamental attribution error. When someone lies to us, we assume they're dishonest. When someone humiliates another person, we assume they're cruel. When someone lashes out, we assume they're an angry person. Our brains naturally explain behavior by explaining the person. It's fast, efficient, and most of the time, good enough. But here's the strange part. We rarely judge ourselves by the same standard. When we lose our temper, it's because we've had a terrible day. When we become distant, it's because we're overwhelmed. When we cancel plans, it's because life has been difficult. Suddenly, circumstances matter. But when it's someone else, those same circumstances often disappear. Their behavior becomes their identity. People who see what others miss interrupt that process. Not because they believe everyone is secretly kind. Not because they think every harmful person deserves another chance. They simply refuse to confuse evidence with a verdict. Behavior is evidence, not a verdict. The arrogant person might simply be arrogant. The bully might simply be a bully. The manipulator might genuinely enjoy manipulation. Curiosity doesn't guarantee innocence, and that's exactly what makes it valuable. Because curiosity isn't searching for excuses, it's searching for truth. Think about it. Two people witness the exact same interaction. One walks away saying, "I know exactly who they are." The other walks away thinking, "Something doesn't make sense yet." One reaches certainty. The other reaches curiosity. It gets even stranger. Psychologists have found that people differ in how comfortable they are with uncertainty. Many of us feel a strong urge to reach an answer as quickly as possible, a tendency often described as the need for cognitive closure. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. Answers feel safe. So the brain rushes to conclusions because conclusions feel complete. People who see what others miss often resist that urge. They're comfortable saying, "I don't know enough yet." And because they stay curious longer, they continue observing long after everyone else has stopped looking. They notice the confidence that feels strangely rehearsed, the anger that appears just a little too quickly, the joke that sounds more defensive than funny, the person who desperately needs everyone to believe they're untouchable, not because they can read minds, not because they possess some magical intuition, but because they're still investigating while everyone else has already closed the case. And perhaps that's what cognitive empathy really is. Not absorbing another person's emotions, not pretending to know exactly what they've lived through, but having the discipline to imagine more than one explanation before deciding which one is true. That's why therapists ask questions instead of making assumptions. Why experienced negotiators spend more time listening than arguing. Why great detectives don't arrest the first suspect who looks guilty. The goal isn't simply to be kind. The goal is to understand reality as accurately as possible. Of course, understanding someone doesn't mean trusting them. It doesn't erase consequences. It doesn't remove accountability. Compassion and healthy boundaries can exist together. In fact, they often have to. But perhaps the most fascinating thing about people who see what others miss isn't that they understand others better. It's that they understand how easily certainty can blind us. Most people see behavior and stop looking. Curious people see behavior and start looking. Most people believe their first impression is the answer. Curious people treat it as the first clue. Maybe that's why they leave the same room with a completely different person. Not because they saw more, but because they refused to believe they had already seen enough. Explanations create possibilities. Conclusions end them. And perhaps that's the rarest kind of perception. Not seeing what nobody else can see, but having the patience to remain curious when everyone else is already certain. Because sometimes, the most dangerous words we can say about another human being aren't, "They're a bad person." They're, "I already know who they are." The people who see what others miss don't have magical intuition. They simply understand one thing the rest of us often forget. Behavior is evidence, never the whole story.